All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, all the way out to Staten Island, my home borough, Brooklyn. Back out with another video. This is going to be another entry to the greatest team ever series. This video is going to be on the 1976 Oakland Raiders, who were truly one of the best teams of their era and one of the best teams of all time. And in my opinion, can stand toe to toe with some of the other best teams of the 70s, like the 72 Dolphins and the 78 Steelers. And of course, the great teams of other eras as well, the 80s Niners, the Cowboys in the 90s, the Broncos of the late 90s, all the all-time great teams in NFL history, the Patriots of the 21st century. The 70s, of course, when we think of the Raiders in the 70s and the Raiders in general, we think of, that bad boy image, the villains of the NFL. They were a dirty team, and the NFL was always have to screw the Raiders over and all that stuff. And, look, were they a great team? Yes. But were they dirty? Yes, they were dirty. They were dirty, but they were some tough SOBs. They were some tough SOBs who didn't take no shit from nobody. Not the Steelers, not the Vikings, not the Dolphins, not the Cowboys, not any of the great teams of the 70s. But anyway, let's get into this. Now, you see right here, this is the famous Immaculate Reception play in 1972. This kind of jump-started the Raiders-Steelers rivalry of the 70s, which was intense as the decade went on. Of course, on the play before the Immaculate Reception, Kenny Stabler had pretty much won the game for the Raiders. He gave them the lead, but then this happened. Okay? Then the next year, the Raiders get all the way to the AFC Championship game where they lose to the defending champion Miami Dolphins. Then in 1974, they defeat the Dolphins in the AFC Divisional round, which was before the game, it was hyped up as Super Bowl 8.5, as the real Super Bowl. Super Bowl 8.5, the real Super Bowl. It was the Dolphins who had been to the Super Bowl the 3 previous years, and of course it went back to back, and the Raiders who were on the doorstep. And of course, this is one of the more famous plays in NFL history. Quarterback Ken Stabler throwing to Raider wide receiver in the end zone, a game now known as the Sea of Hands game, which the Raiders, of course, won. They hosted the AFC Championship game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who defeated them, and the Steelers went on to win Super Bowl 9 against the Minnesota Vikings. The next year, in 1975, the Raiders made it back to the AFC Championship game, but this time they had to go to Three River Stadium to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 75 Steelers are one of the greatest teams ever. One of the greatest teams ever. Are they better than the 78 team? You could argue that, but I'll take the 78 team over the 75 team, and they were just great. But, of course, the Raiders were sent home again by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They faced the Steelers 3 times in the playoffs. They got sent home all 3 times. When shit like that happens to you, you start to build up a deep hatred for the team. And of course, these two teams had some of those physical, the most intimidating, villainous players in NFL history. I mean, on the Steelers, you had Mean Joe, you had Jack Lambert, you had Mel Blount, the 3 most villainous looking players in NFL history. And of course, the Raiders, we're going to get to their players in a minute, but these were 2 tough physical teams who just beat the hell out of each other. People talk about the Ravens and Steelers beating the hell out of each other. The Raiders and the Steelers beat the hell out of each other. But anyway, going into 1976, the Raiders were a team on a mission, and they were a stacked team loaded with very great players and Hall of Famers. They were led by their coach, John Madden, who recently passed away. At quarterback, they had probably the coolest quarterback in NFL history, Kenny Stabler. The receiver, they had future Hall of Famer Fred Biletnikoff and Cliff Branch, who might get in the Hall of Fame this year. It's a damn shame he gets into the Hall of Fame after he passes away, but whatever. We're not going to get into that. One of the greatest tight ends of all time, Dave Casper, a.k.a. The Ghost. And, of course, they had Art Shell and Gene Upshaw, my fellow Brooklynite. Rest in peace, Mr. Gene Upshaw. John Matuzak, rest his soul on the defensive side. The Mad Stork, Ted Hendricks, a fellow Hurricane. they were led by Raider icon Phil Villapiano. And, of course, their secondary, which was known as the Soul Patrol, led by probably the hardest hitter and most intimidating safety ever played the NFL, Jack Tatum, a.k.a. the Assassin. George Atkinson, one of the toughest safeties and one of the dirtiest players in NFL history. I mean, nothing against George Atkinson personally, but this dude was dirty as hell. Skip Thomas, a.k.a. Dr. Death, and Old Man Willie Brown, one of the greatest corners in NFL history. We're going to get to him in a minute. Of course, the Raiders, like I said, they were a team on a mission. They had the 4th-ranked offense in the league. You think with all that talent on defense, they would be a top 5 defense, but they were surprisingly ranked 12th overall. But as you can see, on opening day, they faced their rival Pittsburgh Steelers, beat them in a close 131-28. beat the Chiefs, beat the Oilers. They got dominated by the Patriots, but they will see the Patriots again. Just ran through teams to finish with the NFL season 13-1. Of course, back then it was a 14-game season. So going 13-1, back then it was like going 15-1 a couple years ago, or now going 16-1. When the AFC divisional round, the Raiders got their revenge on the New England Patriots and dominated them. Just absolutely whooped their asses to go back to the AFC Championship game, which they hosted, where they faced a familiar foe. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, who they finally defeated. They had finally defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs, and the Raiders were on their way to Super Bowl 11, where they faced the famed Purple People Eaters Minnesota Vikings defense, and it wasn't even close. The Raiders were dominant from minute 1 to the last minute. They ended up victorious 32-14 over the Minnesota Vikings. And Phil Villapiano famous said that the Purple People Eaters weren't the Purple People Eaters when we got them. They weren't eating that day. They were on a diet. If you watch NFL Top 10 on NFL Network, you know who Phil Villapiano is. He's a very funny dude. And then, of course, in the Super Bowl, we had one of the most iconic plays and most iconic images in NFL history, courtesy of Old Man Willie. He's going all the way. Touchdown Raiders. Willie Brown's iconic pick six, capturing the iconic NFL film shot. You're the Raiders radio guy giving that call. One of the greatest plays in NFL history, period. Like I said, the Raiders were victorious. They were finally champions after years of climbing up the mountain, only to get pushed down by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They finally reached the mountaintop, and they were all alone. But anyway, what do you think about the 76 Oakland Raiders? Are they the greatest team of all time? Are they top 5, top 10, top 20? Are they the best Raider team of all time? More than likely. This Raider team or the 83 Raiders, probably my two picks for the best Raider teams ever. But hey, it is what it is. Raider Nation, what do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section down below. Click the like button, subscribe. I'm going to see you all.